So, guys, I'm joined by Michael here. How are you?
I'm great. Hello.
Welcome back to Sydney. How are you enjoying it again for the second time?
Great. Well, it's actually my fourth time here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Second time. Oh, God, my brain's falling apart. First time this year because it's the beginning of the year. Yeah, I was here twice last year and already back. I was just here in November for PAX, so it's kind of crazy to be back like 3 months later.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I love Sydney. Lindsay and I we love Australia. It's like our go-to outside of America at this point.
Awesome.
But yeah, weather's great. People are great. Convention's awesome. It's way better than last year, where
Yeah.
there's no air conditioning.
I know.
Woo.
This place is so much better
It's
than last year.
awesome.
Yeah, so you came to notoriety online through your Rage Quit videos. So what made you want to start that?
Actually, just like I started making videos in my spare time. You know, it's something I really never did growing up. You know, I wasn't really like tech savvy or any of that. I played video games a lot. So graduating high school, I just got a job. I ended up working for an electrician, and I did that for like 5-6 years.
Cool.
And a couple of years into that, you know, as YouTube was growing, you know, and you know, inviting more people to just upload videos that maybe weren't tech savvy or didn't know anything. I happened to buy a digital camera that I didn't know recorded video. So the second I got it, there was a sticker on the camera that said YouTube ready. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I found out that I could record videos. So I just started recording stupid shit for my friends, just literally pointing it at the TV screen, and most of it was video game stuff. And I just started uploading them to YouTube, and I got a solid like 3 or 5 views for a couple of months. And I just did that for a year or so, and I gained a couple of followers. I mean, like a couple hundred, you know, nothing crazy. And then there was this huge break, like near the end of 2010, where I had a video based on Crackdown 2 that went like mini viral, I guess. Like it got posted on Reddit somewhere, and it went from like 50,000 views to like 180 in a day or something. And I had hundreds of emails because I had made an account where I'd get an email every time I get like a YouTube comment or something like that, because I'd get like 4 a day. You know, so I'd come home from work and be like, oh cool, I got 1 new subscriber. Yeah. So I come home from work and I had like 100 or 200 emails. And I was like, oh my God, what happened? Like, what the hell happened today? So I just started reading all of them, and I eventually got to one that was from Rooster Teeth. And they had sent me a message through YouTube, and it was Jack from Achievement Hunter. And he was like, hey, we saw the Crackdown video. You know, we're Rooster Teeth. We make Red versus Blue. We saw your video. We checked out your other videos on your channel, and we really like them. And we want to know if you want to make videos for us. And I was like, shit. Like, and I'd been watching Red versus Blue since I was like 18, so I was pretty familiar with them. Yeah. And Rage Quit came out like 10 days later, the first episode, and it all steamrolled from there.
Yeah, obviously. Now, I must say that you are one of the reasons why I got into podcasting. The Internet Box and an Australian podcast called Tofop were two that I listened to non-stop. So why start Internet Box? What was the reason behind that?
The reason behind Internet Box was I moved to Austin to work full-time at Rooster Teeth. I sent videos from New Jersey for about 6 months. And then after I visited the first RTX, 2011, which was just in a field next to the office, it was 500 attendees. After that like totally changed my perspective, and I really wanted to like work here. Just because like I really didn't have any of the like community or interaction or anything. You know, I made the videos and I sent them to them and they put them online, and it was this cool thing I did on the side, but I really didn't think anything more than that. So they actually offered me a job, and I turned it down because I was like, I don't want to move to Texas. I don't know anybody there. My whole life's here. I don't do this for a living. You know, this is something I'm not even good at. You know, I just kind of do it because it's stupid, not because it's my career. Yeah. And then I went to RTX, and it completely changed my opinion on everything. I met all the fans. I met the community, and I was like blown away just by like how interactive it was, and that really is what inspired me to like go after it and get the job and move here. So I did that, and I was staying with Jack for a few months. And Rooster Teeth was pretty small still when I started. It was about 9 years old, I think, when they hired me. So I just got hired into Achievement Hunter. It was just Jack, Jeff, and myself. And I didn't know anybody there. So I still talked to everybody online that I always talk to, which Ray Narvaez, who was very big in the community at the time. And I met him right when I started doing Rage Quit. And then I met Andrew Blanchard through the community. And, we would talk all the time on Xbox Live and party chats and stuff like that. And, I moved to Austin, and I started doing like video content, like Rooster Teeth wise and stuff, and we all just kind of like I was the only one working there at the time out of everyone in Internet Box, and we just decided like we have nothing to do. We're like losers. Let's just make a podcast. You know, like why not? We don't do anything else. You know, I'd come home from work and just sit in Jack's guest room all night. You know, this is before I even met Lindsay. So we just started recording it. And it was myself, Ray, Andrew, Barbara Dunkelman, and two of our friends from the community, Dylan Saramago and Mike Kroon.
The very first achievement.
The very famous White Knife.
Yes.
Very first Achievement Hunter intern. And we just started a really dumb podcast that we thought nobody would watch or listen to, and it would just be the most idiotic thing ever. And it was, and somehow it went like 2 years, 3 years, and it just became this whirlwind of crap where slowly it became the like unofficial secondary Rooster Teeth podcast that maybe Rooster Teeth didn't like so much because they had no control over it whatsoever. And then slowly as time went on, everybody on it fucking worked there. Then they hired Barbara right after me, then Ray got hired forever later, but now Andrew works there, and it's like crazy. So it became this unofficial thing, but it really was just, you know, we talked all the time and we just decided let's do it. And essentially it ended because we had no friggin' time whatsoever. You know, 2-3 years later, you know, everybody at Rooster Teeth is like insanely busy. We have, you know, hundreds of employees now, and it's like, you know, this is even before Off Topic, but now we have, I mean, I've got Off Topic, Barbara has Always Open. There's like 5-6 podcasts within Rooster Teeth alone, so it kind of became this, we don't have time for this thing anymore. But it was really incredible while we did it. It was a ton of fun, and I'm still like, it's blown away by how popular it was and how many people actually listened to it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, 3-time award winning.
3-time award winning. Yeah, somehow.
But yeah, that's kind of how like we started. We found all each other in the Rooster Teeth community and decided that you know, we want to get something up and running, so why not? And so we did. We have about 12 or 13 episodes out now. Kind of it was very kind of weekly, and then got to monthly.
Sure, yeah, it happens.
Like, it happens.
Yeah.
Life happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So thank you for from me at least for inspiring me to
You're
be
very
creative.
welcome. Thank you.
So you've done live action movies with Lazer Teeth, of course.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know.
Of course.
I don't know how that happened.
So what was that like? Like,
that was crazy, man. It's just like, it's a movie, you know, there's trailers, and we have like, you know, I had done a couple of things with Rooster Teeth as far as shorts go, you know, and it was definitely a smaller group, you know, maybe there'd be like 8 to 10 people on crew, even less than that maybe, you know, and these are all people I know, you know, I'd be talking to Brandon or Chris or something like that, and then it was like, okay, now we're shooting a movie, you get to the set, and, you know, the main characters were myself, Bernie, Gavin, and then Colton Dunn. And, you know, the three of us at least, you know, we all know each other very well, and Matt being the director, obviously the four of us have this huge history, but everyone else in the entire shoot didn't work at Rooster Teeth. It was all outside crew, it was all Austin, you know, like crew. So that was just like super, like nerve-wracking for me of like, oh, I can't, like, if it was everybody I worked with, I don't give a shit, you know, I don't care, whatever. But now it's like, oh, these people expect me to be an actor, you know, I gotta like show up and do my lines and be in a scene. And it was crazy. I mean, I think we had a crew of probably about 100 people or something. And I remember the first day Gavin and I got to set, they were shooting something else. It was like the opening sequence with the training montage of Adam, and they had like all the course set up where he was like climbing a wall and, you know, all that stuff. And Gavin and I got there and we're looking at it, and Gavin, who's quite familiar with, you know, working on film, he's
of course
shot slow-mo for like Hollywood films. And he gets to set and he's like, this is a real movie. And we're both looking at each other, and he looks at me and he goes, I'm gonna kill myself. It was just like, wow, how did we get here? But you know, within like a couple of days, we really hit it off with the crew, and it was a ton of fun. You know, I think they picked up that we were clearly having fun doing it, and they were all awesome. Like everybody there was awesome, and it was super cool. It was the most time I've ever spent with Matt, so that's cool. Every time I see him, because now, you know, again, a 250 employee company, you know, Matt's the CEO, I barely see him. He's busy, he's going everywhere, he's traveling, meetings, all this stuff. But every time I pass him in the parking lot, I'll just be like, hey, remember when we made that movie? And they're like, yeah, we should do that again. I'm like, okay.
Which you guys are.
Which now we are,
Lazer Team 2.
Lazer Team 2.
So yeah,
Electric Boogaloo.
Can't wait to see that. Well, going from, I guess, live action movies, you now do a lot of voiceover stuff. So you started in stuff like Ruby and all that, and now you're outside into like One Piece and that. So
A little bit, yeah.
yeah, it's I mean, it must be amazing for you to be able to be a part of such big productions.
Yeah, that, honestly, like, Rooster Teeth is the dream come true that I never had. You know, it wasn't like, when I was growing up, you couldn't play video games for a living. It wasn't a thing. At best, it was, be a video game tester. You know, if you're not making the game, be Q&A. You know, be a tester, which, if you know anyone, it's also not fun. Testing video games is like, you know, you're not playing it, you're not enjoying it. So it's this weird thing that I never knew existed because it didn't. But voice acting is something I've always wanted to do ever since I was a kid. I love video games, I love anime and cartoons, and, you know, right when I was about 13 or so, I was 13 in 2000, and that's when there was like all this voice acting started coming out in video games with like PlayStation 2 essentially.
Yep.
And it was a little bit before that, but a lot of it, you know, there was no voice acting, but that became this entire new market that never existed for actors. And, you know, immediately, like, I would always piece together who did what. You know, I'm really good with like listening to a voice, you know, and I'm, you know, hear someone talking, I'm like, oh, that's the guy from this game, or he's from that movie or whatever. And I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, so that was like Dragon Ball Z plus being a kid from New Jersey who yells and screams all the time. I was like, I can do that. I can get into a booth and yell and do that. So getting hired at Rooster Teeth, opportunities just presented themselves because Red vs. Blue was the first thing that I ever did. I did a couple of lines in a few seasons, like little bit lines here and there, and then I got cast as Son in Ruby, which was like the biggest thing I'd ever done at that point, and that was like super awesome. Like, I just talked to Monty. Monty came up to me and he was like, "You're gonna be Son." I'm like, "Well, I got an audition for it." No, you're him. I'm like, okay. Then it came down like a week later. No, we have to have auditions. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I go in the booth. Monty gives me like one line. I don't even finish it. And he's like, okay, you got your audition. You got the part. It's like, oh,
nicely done.
Cool, awesome.
Way to beat the code.
Yeah, and it kind of just snowballed from there. You know, Lindsay eventually created with Jordan Swears X-Ray and Vav, the animated show, and I got to play my own stupid character Mogar in season 2, where I made up. And then the biggest thing outside of Rooster Teeth is I got a part in Fairy Tale, which is a Funimation production, which is, again, like, I grew up watching so much Funimation and being a fan of so many actors that work there. It was insane just to go and audition. And I'm like, I'm not fucking get anything. You know, I sucked. I've never auditioned in my life, like, outside of Rooster Teeth. It's the first audition I'd ever had. Didn't hear anything for like 3 months. Then, actually, the first time Lindsay and I were ever coming to Australia, which was for Supernova in 2014, we flew from Austin to LAX, and then we were doing a layover to come here. We were sitting in the terminal at LAX, and I got an email from them saying that they were offering me the part for Sting Eucliffe, which was like, he was like the main bad guy for like 20, 30 episodes in Fairy Tale, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it. Like, did they fuck up me? They want me? What?
Can we check this email address?
Yeah, and it's like, you know who you're talking to, right? Like, what? And, you know, I started doing that, and then just slowly from there, you know, meeting other directors. I've got little parts in all kinds of shows. I was in World Break. You know, I've done tons of, like, little tiny characters in One Piece and all kinds of other shows. But then I got a slightly bigger character in One Piece that had, like, an 8-episode arc. And then Camp at Rooster Teeth is, like, the biggest current thing, which we just announced we're doing season 2 on that. So that's super exciting. But I love voice acting. I can just talk forever, as you might know. It kind of comes across in Let's Plays. I can talk to a wall for like 5 hours and it wouldn't bother me. So getting the opportunity to go into a booth and just be another character is like my dream come true. And it's just so awesome. And now with Rooster Teeth, the entire animation department has their own building outside of Rooster Teeth. It's incredible. You know, the facility they have and the sound booth they have, it's phenomenal compared to like what we've been working with over the last couple of years. And it's definitely like a step towards, you know, being a studio like Funimation, where it's, you know, top of the line, as sophisticated as you could possibly be, you know, with doing voice recordings. But it's just incredible, though, like, for me to get an opportunity and just to see the growth of Rooster Teeth, like where it started. When I started, animation was Monty and one assistant.
Wow.
And now it's 80 to 100 employees in their own building, you know, producing, I don't know how many, you know, shows, 4 or 5 shows at Rooster Teeth. We've got a bunch of new shows coming out this season, so it's really mind-blowing.
Yeah, no. Well, Michael, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
I guess enjoy your time while you're back in Sydney and enjoy the convention.
Thanks a lot. I'm sure I will.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Bye.